through a post-apocalyptic, fungi-ridden US? I think you all know the answers, my fellow nerds, geeks, and other lovely people here on Heroes Dutch Comic Con. So put your hands together for the legendary Troy Baker!
Ready. I don't even know for what. Yeah!
High expectations.
Oh man, I hope I live up to the hype.
I'm sure you will. Now, I have a knack in recognizing voices, which I developed over decades of being a geek. And the first time I really recognized your talent is when you fooled me into believing you were Mark Hamill. That was pretty impressive. Or at least Mark Hamill performing as the Joker in Batman Arkham Origins. Anyone play that game? There you go. Of course they did. Were you instructed to copy Hamill's voice?
No. So this is how that went down. There were a bunch of us that were auditioning. Liam O'Brien was there as well. And I go in, and they gave us the materials right before we went in. You had a few minutes to look at it, and so I'm looking at it, and I go, okay, so do you want like a young Mark Hamill? They're like, whoa, why would you think that? I was like, because this is from Batman the Animated Series, this is from Batman Begins, or Dark Knight, and then this is the Tunnel of Love monologue from The Killing Joke. And they're like, well, maybe you give us what you think a young Mark Hamill would sound like. I was like, okay, never done that before in my life, and they've got a camera on me too. So it's like, regardless of how this goes, there's going to be documented proof of how bad it is. And they said, do you want to start? There was like easier dialogue, and then the last one was the Killing Joke monologue. I was like, let's go to that. That's what I want to do. And so I did, because I've always wanted to hear that out loud. So I did that, and funny story, I once got fired because I couldn't laugh. And so I'm immediately panicking and just a flop sweat because obviously I'm going to have to laugh.
You can't laugh if you know, by command. You can't, like, just...
It's kind of part of the gig. Like, you're going to have to laugh. And everyone's going to hear, like, great, let's hear your laugh. I was like, you don't need to hear that. And so I did it, and I mean, I gave it my absolute all. And they thought I was good enough to be their Joker, so that's where we are.
But did you recognize the Killing Joke dialogue? Or monologue? Did you recognize it, or did they tell you?
No. They didn't tell me anything. I was like, I know what this is.
Really?
Because I'm familiar with the source material.
Wow, I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I love the comic. So yeah, it was easy. It was like, you know, if you've ever, who here has read The Killing Joke? Yeah. And there you know, if you see memories can be vile, you're like, I know what that is. Memories can be vile. Like little boots, I suppose. Anyway.
So, last edition of this great Comic-Con, I had the honor of speaking to the only actor whose career is comparable to yours. I mean, you probably know who that is, right? Can you do it? Okay, let me just, none other than Nolan North.
Who?
Nolan North. Oh, anybody know Nolan North?
He's the old guy.
Yeah, the old.
Joking. I love Nolan. Listen, here's what I will say about Nolan North. Jimmy Vaughn, brother of legendary guitarist Stevie Ray Vaughan, once said, I play 80% of what I know. Stevie played 10. I play 80% of what I know. Nolan plays 10. Nolan North has, most people don't know how much range Nolan has, because his natural speaking voice is just so good. But once he starts doing, like, when he played David in The Last of Us, lights out. When he did Penguin in Arkham, lights out. And he also was, I don't even know if you guys have this here, Blaze and the Monster Machines, let's blaze! Like, he played like a kid's cartoon. He's got insane range. So yeah, he's one of the most talented people in the business. Absolutely.
I mean, the fact that you mentioned Penguin, that's actually a good segue because in Arkham Asylum, I think, or in Arkham City, there is a point where he is speaking to himself.
That's like every game that Nolan's ever done. Like there was that whole thing in Mafia 2, he talks to himself. Nolan, which he does just walking around, period.
Right. But
Nolan will just talk to himself in different voices.
have you ever done that in any game? That you had to talk to yourself, that you were your own, I don't know.
I think fortunately by the time I was really kind of cranking is after Mafia 2 and people were very careful to make sure that like player characters weren't talking to. I'm sure like somehow in Saints Row I talked to myself at one point. No, I was gonna say Tess talks to, I did an NPC in The Last of Us Part 1 where Tess is going through the quarantine zone to get to Joel and she comes upon like a guy who's like, hey Tess, can you get me something for us? I just want a little bit of a taste of something. And that was me, and they kept it in there. Thought they were gonna replace me. So I don't talk to myself, but I am two characters in The Last of Us Part 1.
Okay. Well, I dubbed it pulling a Nolan, and nobody has gave me permission to, call it that. But I think that's a
Pulling a Nolan?
Pulling a Nolan is talking.
That's what it's called
I think
in the
he
industry.
talked to two characters who were also voiced by himself. At one point, he was talking to. It was a three-way conversation, and he did all of those voices.
I just went to a table read for The Simpsons, and Dan Castellaneta, I watched him do 3 pages of a monologue talking to himself. It live. It was insane. So if Dan can do that, Nolan can do that too.
Right. Okay, I mean, it's about time to...
Yeah, I want to see what you guys have. What questions do you have?
Yeah, it's not... My questions aren't that important. The questions from the audience are important. And I'm sure... Oh, the line is opening. Well, there we go.
Yeah. There's so much space between us.
She's getting an explanation that you have to talk really closely into the mic, but otherwise we won't have be able to understand you. Hello.
I have a question. Who's your favorite character from The Last of Us? And which game do you like more, the first one or the second?
Wow.
Popular question.
You have to pick your favorites.
Impossible to choose my favorite. What's my favorite character in The Last of Us? I'm a little biased. I would say it changes for the game. I think that I'm going to shine a light on 2 people. I think Marlene is an incredible character.
Yeah.
Marlene has some of the most depth. Man, now you got me thinking. I'm gonna go rogue, okay? I think the character of Ish in The Last of Us is one of the most compelling characters. If you haven't gone and collected all of the letters of Ish, you are missing such an amazing narrative. In 2, one of my favorite characters is Tommy. But I think that Tommy is the only villain in The Last of Us.
Oh, wow.
And I love Jeffrey Pierce. Because Tommy is the only one that willfully manipulates Ellie to serve his purpose. David is blatant. I'm telling you exactly what I want to do. But Tommy is the only one that uses Ellie's guilt and weaponizes that so that she goes after Abby and her crew.
Wow, I never looked at that.
Yeah, that whole scene at the ranch, back on the farm, when he's like, are you really gonna let her get away with this? I can't go. It's like, oh, that's where the Joel in me, the big brother, is wanting to just grab Tommy and go, don't you dare put her through this, you let her go. But I love Tommy because of that. And obviously, you know, Tommy's an incredible character. Jeffrey Pierce crushed it. Gabrielle Luna crushed it in the show. We could go on for hours about this. Which one do I like between 1 and 2? There's one story of The Last of Us. We separated it into 2 parts, but there's not one or the other. It is one complete story, and you cannot separate one from the other. Does that make sense? You're awesome. Thank you so much.
Good answer.
Cheers.
I almost got all emotional again thinking about.
Oh, I'll make everybody in the room, including myself, cry talking about The Last of Us. Buckle up. You sat down for this. What you got?
Hi, I really love playing The Last of Us and seeing the stories unfold and watching the characters grow. And my question would be, what was your favorite aspect of Joel's character development?
Here in the spot, this could change on the daily basis. But I think the thing that I love most about him is that in part 2, everyone discounts this. There's a moment when Abby shows up and Joel just shakes his head. It's right before he says, why don't you say whatever speech you got rehearsed, let's get this over with. There's a moment that I had where the thought that went through my mind was, this is what you get. This is what you get when you trust people. This is what you get when you let your guard down. This is what you get when you stop fighting and start living. This is what you get. This is what I got. I got her. And it's that moment of, all right, if this is how I settle my tab, so be it. I will go out. And I'm grateful that I showed my belly. I'm grateful that I showed my weakness. I'm grateful that I stopped looking over my shoulder for a second and lived for just this long. And because I love when people bring up, Joel would never have done that. He never would have gone with Abby. He never would have trusted people. I was like, funny. Isn't that he did that? That's absolute. Once you start loving and you stop hating, you do some crazy shit. So that's one of my favorite moments. Favorite moments. Did I answer your question, or did I just get lost? Okay, cool. Thank you very much. I got lost in my own.
I mean, that answer deserves a round of applause, everybody. Come on. Thank you.
That's what you get. Whew. What's up, brother?
No, sir. My question is not about The Last of Us.
Okay.
Wow.
My question is about the Far Cry video game franchise.
Okie dokie.
Because today we've got Pagan Min from Far Cry.
Indeed.
And tomorrow Comic Con is going to be joined by Giancarlo Esposito, who's Anton Castillo from Far Cry 6. I'm actually surprised they didn't organize dual ownership for 2 years.
John Carlo would have swept in that. I love him.
And my question is, if there was a Far Cry video game where both of your characters are part of the main plot,
Yes.
would they be allies or enemies?
Enemies. 100%. And technically they are. Like if you played the collectors, where you could play all of the different villains and follow their paths, so technically we are. But you have to understand, each of those characters exist because they are narcissists, and there is nothing outside of them, and everyone serves their purpose. Kind of sounds like somebody else I know, but I'm not going to get political. 100%, that is, they would be enemies. But they would graciously invite the other to sit at their table, and they would wonderfully, beautifully, and eloquently manipulate the other for their own purpose.
We would love to see that scene.
Wouldn't it be great? Again, Giancarlo would sweep in that, but that's just me. Thank you for the question. Cheers.
Thank you. Next question, please.
Hello.
Hello.
I was curious, what was it like working on Iron Lung alongside Markiplier?
Multi-phased. So, I've known Mark for a long time, and I can't begin to describe the level of detail that Mark has had in this movie. And not only that, but also his wife as well. Like, and the things that are soft in the background have a purpose and thought and beautiful design to them. Mark set a trend of being a disruptor and being able to come into a system right now that is highly volatile and go, here's what you need to do. You just need to believe in yourself more than people believe in you. Stop expecting for people to believe in you more than you do yourself. And just do something. Take a big swing. There was nothing safe about that movie as far as how he made it. He risked so much, and he threw everything he had into it. His own money, all of his capital as far as being a YouTuber, his time, his entire being, he threw into this. And the fact that he not only asked me to be a part of it, but has really been generous. He's a real one. Like, I'm more impressed with Mark as a filmmaker than I am as a YouTuber. And I think what he did as a YouTuber is truly remarkable. 26 million subscribers, or how many people he has. But him as a filmmaker, I'm like, dude, I can learn a lot from you. It's kind of like the old trope about a captain on a ship knows every screw. That's how Mark was with that movie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Greetings.
Hello.
Hello.
My question is, when playing Joel in The Last of Us, are there any specific lines or scenes that really stuck with you?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, I have one that comes to mind. I have "I swear" tattooed right here, and Ashley has "okay" tattooed right there. We got them together. Those are three of the most profound lines I have personally ever experienced in any kind of medium. To have that much weight, especially for two lines, "I swear," has such weight. And this is why a lot of writers, especially in video games, try so hard to overwrite because they want it to really have gravitas. And they're like, really, really sell this. Like, I remember even when we were shooting this scene, Neil was just the person that was just trying to get me to a point. He's like, just trust it. Instead of someone going, "I swear," because they wanted to have so much gravity, and they're expecting all of that to be in one thing, like performance or writing. Neil goes, "I swear." It is just let the moment be there, and trust that there's going to be music. Trust that there's going to be 12 hours of getting to that moment to help support that. So I love this line so much, and I've got amazing other lines of dialogue. One of my favorites is, and Neil cracks up every time I say this, I've been on both sides, is "mwah," because it happens in gameplay as you're on the stick and Ellie asks you a question haphazardly. "How did you know about that guy back there? Huh? The ambush. How did you know about it?" Because I've been on both sides. It's just a thrown away line, and that reveals everything about Joel that you need. He's not a good guy. He's done horrible, horrible things. The same thing that we just plowed through all those people for, Joel organized those. That's how he knew about it. So it's just the dialogue, when someone says the writing, that doesn't mean the lines. The writing is the complete process of the idea being executed in its tangible form and then being set up by amazing performances. That's the writing. So I love the writing of The Last of Us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, I swear, okay, the best last words of a video game ever. I can easily say that.
I remember when Neil told me that, I was like, people are going to be so mad. He goes, okay, good. I just don't want them to not care.
And they were mad once again in this sequel, but you know, that's emotions.
You felt something? How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Just fine?
Yeah, I'm low-key nervous, so.
Oh, okay.
Can I give you maybe just a little tweak?
Yeah, of course.
You're experiencing a feeling, right?
Yeah.
Someone told you a long time ago that feeling equals nerves.
Yeah.
Someone told you that, which means you didn't. Nervous is just a word, and not even, I'm assuming, is English your first language?
No.
No, okay. So you had to learn a new word for a feeling that you felt before someone gave you a word for it. Okay? That means you have the ability to change the word. My son was just experiencing this. We're driving down, he's going to perform for the first time in front of a lot of people. He goes, I'm feeling nervous. I was like, why is it nervous? He was like, I don't know, is that the word for it? And I said, you can take that and maybe say, I'm feeling excited. And it changed the way that he looked at that moment. He went out on the stage and crushed, by the way. You can tell yourself, you can't control that you have a feeling, but you can also convert that feeling into what you want it to be. And when you say, oh, I'm so anxious right now, or I have anxiety, your brain goes, okay, because it doesn't know the word, but you have the ability to go, man, I'm feeling so excited right now. This is a good moment. This is a great moment right now. I'm happy to be here with you. I hope that you feel the same way.
I'm very happy to see it too.
Can I ask you again, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling excited.
That's what I'm talking about! Yeah. Look at what just happened! Look at what just happened! You ignited this entire crowd and you lit up smiling. Take that lesson and apply it to every day. Heard? Cool? What question do you have?
I wanted to ask something about Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
The one with Spacey? Okay. Go ahead.
So I was wondering, what were your favorite parts and your overall experience in the making of the game?
Oh man! Look! Where do I start? Okay, here's a story I can tell. So I'm camera, right? And there's a scene where my character gets lashed up like this. Jesus style, waiting. Now, they really wanted me to strain against this because when Spacey's character comes in, I gotta fight him. And I was like, don't make me fake this, it'll look fake. So you gotta restrain me. So they actually put stuff on the wall so that I could pull against it. Yeah, let's get more haze. The story needs more haze. Thank you. I'm walking through the mist. So there I am, I'm standing, I'm out of frame, aren't I? I just blew my cameraman's so pissed at me right now. You got me? Okay, cool. Can I walk? Is that okay? Is it okay to come up here? It feels really weird to be this far back. I want to be around you people. Hi. Way better. Way better. Okay. So I'm like this, right? And we're in between setups, and I'm like waiting. I'm like, for like 10, 15 minutes. And finally I go, what are we waiting on, guys? Because this is really uncomfortable. And Spacey had just wandered off. And he goes, sorry, and shows up back on set. That's one moment I can tell you about. There were a lot of others. But I will say this, as far as the plots, Modern Warfare 1 and 2 are pretty amazing. The plot of Advanced Warfare is eerily prescient right now. Because if you think, if Jeff Bezos decided to make an army, guys, it's not good. That is the premise of Advanced Warfare. Did I in any way answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, remember, you get to choose what you call that feeling, right on? You're awesome, thank you very much. Oh, okay.
Do we have time for one more question? Or was that the last one? No, we don't have time.
Don't?
Oh, that's
Alright.
too bad.
Thank you guys for choosing to spend a little bit of your afternoon with me. It really, really means a lot to me. If you have questions, I'll still be over there and we can hopefully get into a great conversation. But last thing, remember, you have the ability to tell your body what it is you're feeling. You can't control the feeling, but you can give it a new name. Just as he was feeling excited or feeling nervous, you can feel what? Excited. Have a great day. Thank you very much.